Hey there, I'm Tommy, and today we are saying goodbye to weak and boring basses in your projects. Let me introduce you to the B-WUB Saturator by Beeline Audio, a plugin that's laser focused on doing one thing really well, making your bass sound bigger, clearer, and more present without destroying your sub-frequencies or adding harshness. What makes this plugin really interesting is that instead of traditional EQ or basic saturation, B-WUB shapes where harmonics actually live in the frequency spectrum, while adding a natural sense of dynamics and movement in your low end. So you're getting weight, presence, and musical translation across different playback systems, all in one powerful tool. So let's dive in and see what each control does. First up is drive, and this is your main control for how much harmonic content you're adding and how high up the frequency spectrum it reaches. Made simple, this is the harmonics intensity control. The cool thing here is that everything below 80 Hz is protected. Your sub stays solid no matter what. As you increase drive, harmonics start climbing the spectrum, mainly kicking in above 150 Hz. This not only allows the bass to really cut through the mix, but also makes the kick a lot more powerful. Before we take a first listen, let me introduce you to the B-WUB button, the core feature on this tool. The WUB control is essentially your on and off button for adding saturation. It adds rhythmic harmonic content and movement without actually pumping the volume. Turn it off and all the colorful magic disappears. So let's have a quick listen to see it in action. Here's our sample with drive at 0. Now let's engage the WUB button and kick things off using low drive settings. The plugin will add subtle warmth and thickness, mainly living between 150 and 600 Hz, which will result in a fuller sound. And high drive, that's when the low end starts overwhelming the mix. You're pushing harmonics up into that 2 to 8 kHz range, which can be great for sound design or when you need something really in your face. Now let's talk about the 6 different saturation types, because each one has a different harmonic character. Soft focuses on warmth between 150 Hz and 1.2 kHz, with minimal content above 3 kHz. Super smooth and musical. Tape gives you weight in the 180 Hz to 2 kHz range, with a smooth roll-off above 6 to 8 kHz. Think classic tape machine vibes. Tube pushes presence in that 600 Hz to 2.5 kHz area and extends up to around 5 or 6 kHz. Great for vintage character. Heart spreads harmonic wide from 200 Hz all the way up to 10 kHz. Diodes targets gritty mids between 800 Hz and 4 kHz, going up to about 8 to 10 kHz. It has real character and is very unique. And foldback, this is your extreme option. 500 Hz to 12 kHz of harmonic content. Perfect for creative sound design, perhaps not ideal for musical applications. Next, we have the tone control, which is pretty straightforward. It simply controls the brightness and presence of your harmonics. All the way to the left, we get darker settings that keep harmonics below about 2 to 3 kHz, warm and thick, while to the right side, we get a brighter sound signature that pushes harmonics up to 10 to 12 kHz, adding air and clarity. These tonal changes are noticeable, so this is essentially a creative control that allows you to shape your saturation's color or make your bass fuller in the frequency spectrum. There's also a built-in presence bell tied to the tone control, which adds a wide musical boost around 1.2 to 1.8 kHz. Really useful for making bass translate better on laptop speakers or earbuds. Now the pulse feature is really clever. Instead of using an LFO, it actually follows the groove of your audio to create modulation. It's tempo aware, so it syncs with your project BPM. It also detects frequencies between 80 Hz and 800 Hz and generates harmonics in that 300 Hz to 2 kHz range, adding color and fullness to your sound. Besides the pulse feature, this plugin is also integrated with a simple LFO, a solid alternative when modulation is desired. On the LFO rate control, we are able to change how fast the modulation is applied. Slow rates create subtle movement and gentle breathing, while faster rates add rhythmic energy and a wobbly effect. Perfect to add some life and energy to static or weak basses. We also have LFO depth control, which sets the intensity of the modulation. Low depth adds a natural and musical movement to the sound, while a high depth creates obvious modulation and a strong sense of rhythm, which can get rather destructive when put to the test. We also have an attack knob, which relates to the LFO and pulse feature. Low attack gives you sharper, more defined motion, while high attack smooths everything out and avoids any clicking. You can visualize this as a sine wave versus a square wave regarding the modulation added by the plugin. And finally, output is just your final level control. No frequency changes here, just gain. The thing I really like about the B-WUB Saturator is how easy it is to make your bass really cut through the mix. While it has a lot of features built in, it's not trying to be a Swiss Army knife. It's built specifically to make your bass sound bigger and more present while protecting the sub-frequencies. Besides, you can add not only color, but also movement, making it a great choice for sound design or creative applications. The interface is clean, the controls are musical, and you can get great results really quickly. If it sounds good after just a few tweaks, you're doing it right. So give it a try and let me know what you think down in the comments. There's a free demo and you can decide whether or not to keep it after you've tested it yourself on your project. The link is in the description and you'll have access to all the features. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's a lot more yet to come. Thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one.